For years, I was convinced that I was nothing more than my feelings, my thoughts, my body, trapped within the confines of my ego. It took a profound realization to help me see beyond this illusion. Join me today as we reveal the true essence of our being and how understanding this can help you transform your life. Welcome to a brand new series where we will talk about who and what are we. Are we our bodies, our minds, our souls? What's the role that each one of these three parts plays? My name is Linda and I'm here to sprinkle a little bit of magic onto your life. I want to start by stating this truth.
We are spiritual beings having an earthly experience.
The way we live today was definitely not how it all started. So let me explain how it came to be like this, the way that Hans Wilhelm explains it. Souls have ethereal, subtle, intangible bodies that are highly flexible and could move effortlessly in the spiritual realm. However, in this physical existence, in this dense vibration, it could only be an observer. If the soul wanted to interact with the world, with the animal, mineral, plant world, it needed to have an armor. Like one of those diving suits that had a huge helmet and a really heavy suit and a hose that was connected to the oxygen so that the diver could survive underwater. That's what the body became for the soul. So because of the nature of the soul's body as ethereal and subtle and intangible and very light, it was pretty difficult for the soul to manage the body. And not only manage it, but it didn't know how to take care of it. So then Mother Nature gave us another one of its brilliant tools, which is the mind. The mind was simply a tool that would help the soul know how to take care of the body. Like those little lights in your dashboard car that tell you when you need to get the oil changed or when you have a flat tire. That's what the mind became for the soul and the body. It was simply a tool that would help the soul understand how to take care of the body, that would keep it healthy and strong until the soul didn't need it any longer and could return back to the spiritual realm. So the mind told the soul when the body needed to eat, when it needed to rest, or even if it was danger, like falling off a cliff. And we're going to call this mind the ego. Originally, the ego was here to ensure that our bodies would stay healthy, but after thousands of years of evolution, the soul started to forget that it was a soul, and it just started to identify with its body. The attractiveness of the body was perceived through the five senses, and these five senses also were supposed to just be a tool until they became the point of focus, and what was simply a sense became a constant desire for satisfaction and instant pleasure. For example, the sense of taste. We had it to ensure that we could differentiate between something that was poisonous and something healthy, until we turned eating into a form of hedonism, until we wanted constant and immediate pleasure. In fact, our bodies are not even made to be carnivores. We don't have the sharp fangs that animals have to bite through raw meat. We don't have the glands in our stomach that animals have that help them digest this meat. We don't have the short intestines that animals have to help them eliminate quickly slow decomposing food. And as a result of this, as an effect, we have created an immense animal farm industry and an epidemic of obesity, because eating was no longer just something that we had to do to survive. Eating became a hobby. Eating became a source of instant pleasure. So when this happens, this tells us that we are no longer in control of our bodies. It is our body who is in control of us. And nothing is enough. We always want more and more and more. And so this little ego that was just simply a mere tool became super inflated and became a super ego that wanted all the time more and more and more, and has now learned to live from greed and from lack, and has now learned to experience fear and worry. Fear and worry are not from the soul. The soul knows it's eternal, and it knows it is connected and supported by this higher intelligence, this divine higher power, or God, or the universe, however you want to call it. Fear and worry is from the earth, is from the body that knows it's limited and it knows it's fragile. Today we don't even hesitate killing other human beings to take what we want, to take their resources. And all for what? For the pleasure and satisfaction of our body, for our comfort. So this ego, this super inflated huge ego, has now taken over our body and our psyche and our thoughts. We have become its puppet. But although we have separated from this divine intelligence, from this divine higher power, it has not disconnected from us. It is always constantly guiding us and speaking through us through our intuition and our inspiration. Some people call that the sixth sense. But the vast majority of us has disconnected from our inspiration and our intuition, and we have stopped listening to this inner voice. Instead, we have been listening to our super inflated ego, and thus we have been living from fear and worry. So if we want to change, if we want our lives to be better, if we actually want to enjoy life, and if we want to live life from our true essence, which is love, we need to stop identifying with our bodies and with our egos, and we need to identify again with our soul. We need to take back the control of our lives and put our soul in the driver's seat. It is our soul who needs to be choosing our thoughts. It is our soul who needs to be making decisions. Only living from our soul will we be able to fulfill our true purpose on this life, and will be able to enjoy the amazing elevated emotions that we have available to us. So let's quickly recap everything we've talked about today. We have three parts: our bodies, our souls, and our minds. Each one of these parts has a specific role, and it was designed to do something specific. Our true essence is our soul. Our souls are our higher selves. They come from the energy world. They speak to us through intuition and inspiration. They are eternal, and their essence is love. Our bodies act as a vehicle for our souls to live here on earth. They're temporary. They perceive life through the five senses. They belong to the material world, and we can call them our lower self. And finally, our ego. Our ego is a tool that helps the soul take better care of the body. It is temporary. It belongs to this material world. Its essence is fear and doubt. And if used properly, it can be our greatest asset, but it needs to be kept in balance. The sooner and the better we understand all the spiritual laws that govern life here on earth, the sooner we could be free from our ego and just liberate our true being, our soul, and return that ego to be the simple tool that it was designed to be. Remember, we need the ego. It is not about eliminating. It's about returning the power to our higher self, to our soul. Let the soul be the one who chooses the thoughts we think and who makes the decisions in our lives. So now that we've understood more thoroughly everything related to our ego, to our body, and to our soul, join me in the next video to understand how we can harness the power of our mind to heal our body.